What's up YouTube, Capital G here, looking at the Stargrails in this video. Brand new Link archetype coming out of Code of the Duelist that are clearly Konami's favorites. Why do I say that? Because they are premiering with 4 freaking Link monsters right out of the gate. That's pretty incredible. I mean, they're launching basically with a full extra deck of monsters, and I'm a Goki fan over here like, yo, what's good, Konami? You only giving us 1 Link? You know, the Trickstar fans are like, yo, we only got 1 Link too. So obviously there is some favoritism going on, and this archetype revolves around like normal monsters, and then it's very Necrosy where you have 1 monster and then you have like a extra deck version of the monster who has like its armor. It's the same card basically, but it looks a little more powerful and it gets a little more powerful, kind of like how Necros Charit is also Necros Colossus. Like if you see this one right here, this kid, you see the sword, you see the blonde hair, you see the red scarf, and then boom, same exact kid. He's just a Link monster. He's got his whole He-Man on. I've got the power and stuff like that. Same red scarf, same sword, same you know, blonde hair. Obviously he just has his armor, which kind of makes me think maybe these guys could possibly, am I stretching, guys? Am I reaching here? Could these guys possibly be Dual Terminal? Could these guys be the kickoff to Dual Terminal 4? Because you guys know Dual Terminal 3 started around Primal Origins with the Anti-Luminescent Knights, and then Dual Terminal 3 really got rolling in Duelist Alliance with like the kickoff of the Shadows and the Sertaler Knights and the Yangzings being created by the Constellars and whatnot. So anyways, let's look at these guys. And actually, the way that I'm going to break this video down, I'm going to break this video down into 2 parts, because I've actually shot this video like 5 different times. And this was a video you guys were supposed to be watching, but I scheduled it for the wrong day like an idiot. So I think I'm just going to do the Link monsters in this one, and then I'll do the spell and traps in another video, and hopefully we don't get like a 20-minute video. So all the Link monsters in Stargrails all share the same last effect. When they hit the graveyard from the field, they can special summon a Stargrail monster from your hand. And at first I kind of thought, I don't really care about that. But then when you look at like Firewall's effect and how busted it is on that, like you got to think about there is going to be some utility in that. And especially considering that the way these guys are designed, it seems like Konami wants them to kind of be like a link up type deck. When I say link up, I basically mean kind of how you synchro up to make Quasar use a whole bunch of synchros, and you gradually like step up the levels. It seems like they want you to do that with this deck, because the materials for this guy, who is amazing, their big boss, their Link 3, is actually like, he requires other Link monsters to make. So I'm thinking that they want you to use like the dragon plus this guy, or the dragon plus the lolly chick. And you know, I think that when you use those, then you can obviously trigger their effects. So the first one is the Stargrail Swordsman Arum, and he is a Fire Cyberse Link. He's Link 2. It's a little weird that he's a Cyberse, because his little version is actually a Psychic, but you know, that's neither here nor there. His cursors point down, left, and right, and he requires exactly 2 Stargrail monsters. This card gains 300 attack for each Star Relic monster with a different name in your graveyard. So at least if you have 1, he's 2300, which is not bad. You contribute 1 Stargrail monster link to this card, then target 1 monster in your graveyard except attributed monster. Special summon it to the field. Special summon it to your field, link to this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card, well, I don't need to read the 3rd effect. So this guy can actually get Link monsters back from the graveyard, and I think that's probably the most important part of his 2nd effect. I think his 1st effect is okay. I don't really see him getting over like, you know, I don't see him getting over 600 attack for that. But I think the 2nd effect definitely has some potential, because it can bring back Link monsters. Like that's the biggest thing. Especially if you bring back this guy. This guy is clearly like the best one of them. So let's actually look at the other one. This is the Stargrail Dragon Nduk, or I probably mispronounced that. Wind Dragon, Link 1, 800 attack. His Link cursor points at your opponent, but obviously that's because of his effect. Let's get this out of here. He requires a non-token normal monster. Again, the entire archetype is built around normal monsters, so that's really not that difficult. Exactly 1 of them. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Stargrail monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You only get that once per turn. This is an effect that has always been useful, whether it's built into like Karakuris or it's built into Gem Knight, Seraphonite. Like every time you get an extra normal, it just always is considered a good thing. I don't think that this guy is meant to stay on the field very long though, because his stats aren't that good. He only has 800 attack. At the start of the damage step, when this card battles an opponent's monster and this card's link zone, you can destroy that opponent's monster. So he's basically like a catastrophe. If your opponent has a link monster of their own, or I guess really anything, and you know, his arrow is pointing at it, you can basically just ram it and just kill it no matter what attack it actually has. And then we've got the lolly chick right here. Well, she looks a little less lolly in this artwork. If you see her original artwork, the normal version, it is like 100% bona fide lolly. So she's a water spellcaster. Her name is Stargrail Shine Maiden Eve. She is a link 2, 1800. Her cursors point left and right. She requires monsters with different type and attribute from each other exactly too. Now the thing about the Stargrails, guys, is all of their attributes and their typing, like it's all over the place. So this deck could super get boned by I guess like Rivalry of Warlords or Goes in Match. But to summon her, basically any two different Stargrail monsters. Again, their types and attributes are all over the place. So this is actually not that big of a deal. It just makes her probably not splashable in other decks. Her first effect is honestly the whole reason to play her, in my opinion. This link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, also cannot be targeted by a card effect. So this bitch becomes essentially, if she is linked, she becomes a Magispector on crack. She becomes a Magispector that cannot be destroyed by battle. And we all know the #1 way to kill Magispectors is by running them over. Well, you won't even be able to run her over. So, you know, I hope you guys got them Trishulas ready, or those mirror forces like those Stormings and stuff like that, because she's going to be pretty difficult to get rid of if she is linked. I guess you could kaiju her, but, you know, that is still a -1. Second effect, if this card, or excuse me, if a monster and this card's link zone would be destroyed by a card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. I love that because she can protect the other ones. Not only does she get this massive protection for herself, but if it ever comes up to where your other monster that's linked to her would be destroyed, if that monster is more important, you can just give her up instead, and then you can obviously activate her third effect. And then you have the big boss guy, which, by the way, I think that this guy is going to be splashable in other link decks. This guy is he's clearly the fucking best one. I don't want to say he's broken yet, but he's pretty fucking strong. Like, I'm gonna probably run this in Gokis, and you know, it's not even meant for like Gokis. This is Stargrail Warrior Ningirasu. Earth Warrior, link 3, 2500 attack. His arrows point, or his cursors point up, left, and right. And he's a link 3. You can, what's it called? He requires 2 link monsters, so you have to basically hyperlink into him. But let's be real, guys. How many times have we seen people make like Deco Talker, or, you know, use like a Mrs. Lanius, or excuse me, a Mrs. Radiant, or maybe like a Link Spider and go into a link 3. It doesn't seem that hard at all. You can only use this card's one effect once per turn. Effect number 1, if this card is link summoned, draw 1 card for each Stargrail monster and this card's link zones. So you could potentially draw 3 cards. I don't really see it happening that often, but if you ever get 3 cards, you're probably going to auto win. I don't see a lot of decks drawing 3 cards in one turn that lose. I think that you probably are going to get at least 1 to 2 consistently, and that seems extremely strong. The second effect is probably like the effect that's going to bust this card. Once per turn, you can activate this effect. Send 1 card from each side of the field to the graveyard. Okay, so let's break this down. Number 1, it does not destroy, so it gets around things like Stardust Dragon and Magispectors, or I guess Cosmo Ships. Number 2, it is non-targeting. Number 3, you get to actually pick the card. So it's basically like Scrap Dragon on freaking crack. It's like Scrap Dragon plus Ignister. Like, this card is one of the best link monsters we have seen. It's not as good as Firewall Dragon in my opinion, but it's probably the second best link monster that we have seen so far, guys. And that's what Stargrails are working with right now. They seem to be very equipped right out of the gate to basically hit the ground running and be playable at regionals. And also, just one quick side note before I end this video, I think that the amount of links that we're getting in Code of the Duelist pretty much confirms what I said, guys. I said a while ago that the Vrains era was going to be identical to Zexal, and a lot of people didn't like that. They were like, fuck you, Cap, you're lying, this is not true. And if you really look at Code of the Duelist, guys, because actually, in addition to these three these three Link monsters that were just revealed, there was another Link monster that was revealed in this set as well. I think the count is something like there's going to be 10 new Link monsters in this set, and we'll only be getting like 1 Synchro, 1 XC, and 1 Fusion, and those are Arc V cards. So if Konami would have put them in Maximum Crisis, they wouldn't even be in this set, and there'd be no Synchros, no XCs, and no Fusions. When I said that, I just honestly meant that the Vrains era, again, I think 90% of our extra deck monsters are going to be blue, which is not necessarily a bad thing because the Zexal era was fun as fuck, and I think that this era will be fun as fuck too. So you guys just let me know what you think. I think the Stargrails look very impressive coming out of the gate, especially when you consider, you know, they got like 13 cards and, you know, Burning Abyss launched with like 5. So I don't know, man. They look pretty impressive. I'll do the Spell and Trap video tomorrow because I'm a little exhausted right now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always. Let me know what you think of the Stargrails in the comment section below, and subscribe if you have not already.